When debating between whether you want to buy a resold home versus a new construction home, there's many factors that come into play. Each category of home is going to come with their own unique advantages and disadvantages, which I'm going to outline in this video today. How's it going, friends? Welcome to the channel. My name is Jordan Brown. I'm a realtor here servicing Central Texas. I'm in the Austin, Texas area myself, and throughout my career, I've helped people from a variety of backgrounds, incomes, all over the place, help decide between buying a resold home or a new construction. Really, it's going to come down to a lot of things that pertain to you and your lifestyle, your expectations. We're going to go over all the details here in this video. Now, if you missed it, not that long ago, I made this video right over here, which is detailing the entire process from start to finish about how to buy a home in Texas. If you or anyone that you know is interested in checking that out, please do so right over here. We're going to start with talking about new construction pros. So the first pro for new construction having over a resold home is going to be customization. When you're buying a new home, you can pick things out like the finishes, the layout, the floor plan, and all kinds of things that you can't with a resold home. Resold, it's already completed. Those decisions were made for you. But when you're working directly with a builder, you can say, I love this floor plan, I want this elevation, I want those cabinets. Everything is in your control. Now granted, it's on your dime, but you have the ultimate say. So you feel like you are getting to move into a home that has been tailored to you by you. The second advantage to buying a new construction home are modern features. New construction homes typically come with the freshest, newest building standards. Everything is up to code. You have your energy efficient systems. You have smart home technology like the Ring doorbell cameras. You've got the spray foam in the attic, little things like that. Big advantage over the resold homes that are a little bit older. Also, everything has the newest trends, like the floor plans are trendy. Open concept wasn't always a very popular thing. You can kind of see that as you change decades, that trends come and go. But new construction is building to the most modern trends as of right now. The third advantage to buying a new construction home is low maintenance. All your systems, your major systems are brand new, so it's unlikely that within the first few years you're going to run into issues with your appliances, your roof, your HVAC, your plumbing, your electrical, and in fact, you have warranties in place. Many new builds come with what we call a 1 to 10 year warranty, and those warranties are in place to help protect you in case something does happen and the builder takes care of it for you. Number 4 is energy efficiency. I'm going to piggyback off of number 2 where I mentioned the energy efficiency in the homes, but this is a really big advantage. I mentioned the spray foam. Spray foam hasn't always been around, so when it's in your attic, that typically keeps the temperatures nice and, whether you're trying to keep your house cool or keep the heat in, that spray foam helps. Insulation within the walls. There's all kinds of little upgrades that have been made with the materials used and the practices in place to help make your house more energy efficient. So why should you care about energy efficiency? Well, because that is a direct reflection on your utility bill. The more efficient that your property is, the less you're paying per month for things like water and electricity. The fifth pro to being inside of a new build community is going to be the amenities. Most modern developers know that in order to get people to travel the extra distance to their new build community, they have to have attractive amenities such as a pool, a playground, a park. I've seen dog parks, all sorts of recreational stuff for the residents to do. That makes it really attractive for the residents who want to live there. Now, we just listed 5 really great things about new construction homes. Let's talk about the 5 cons that I'm going to list today. Number 1, they cost more. Especially up front, typically you're having to pay a higher earnest money deposit. You're probably having to put some money down. And not to mention, when you go and you look at the model home, you fall in love with this model home. It's decked out with hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of upgrades. And the builder does this knowing that you're gonna love everything about this model home and you're gonna wanna choose all that. It's very costly. And most builders have some kind of clause where after you exceed a certain amount in upgrades, you have to pay for that out of pocket before closing. So you gotta be careful. Those additions, those customizations, the features, those all cost you money. The second con to a new construction home is most likely gonna be the location. These new build communities are often built on the outskirts of town. They're not built in the prime areas of whatever city that you're looking in. So it's going to be a little bit of an extra drive to work, or maybe it's further away from your modern conveniences like shopping, dining, food, recreation. These are all things that you need to consider when buying a house. The third con of buying a new construction home is going to be the time to complete and delays that you might encounter. So when you're buying a new construction house, sometimes you're buying an inventory home, which much like a resold home, you close within 30 to 45 days. However, if you're custom building, meaning that you are picking the floor plan, you're picking all the features, you're picking all the customized options, that takes time to complete. You make those selections, it goes to permitting, then they got to build it out. So a truly custom build home can take anywhere between 5 to 9 and sometimes upwards of 12 months, depending on the market, 12 months to complete after you've made those decisions. So the market could completely change by then. Maybe you're locked in at a price that is now way overpriced because the market's tanked. Or maybe you locked in a sweet deal. Who knows? It's a gamble. But not only are you taking the gamble on that and having to wait that delayed amount of time, but you also might experience a delay. What if the city gets really backed up with permitting and they don't get you, whatever plans that you have made approved for 2 months? So your original timeline was 7 months. You moved your family into an Airbnb or a short-term rental in the meantime for 7 months, and now you just got hit with a 2-month delay, turning that 7 months into 9 months. It can be a huge inconvenience for a lot of people, and it's something that you need to consider when making this decision. The fourth con is limited negotiations. Typically, builders are going to be a little bit tighter on knocking off the sales price or the contract terms versus dealing with like a private seller. And the reason this is they understand that they have a premium product, they understand all the appeal of a new construction home, and those contracts are in place to protect the builder. The builder rep is not your friend, believe it or not. I know they're super friendly and I've got some really great relationships with builder reps, but their ultimate goal is to get the builder the most money possible and to make that deal the best for the builder alone. They are not your friends, they're not there. I've mentioned it in many videos before. That's why even on a new construction house, I highly recommend that you work with a realtor who looks out for your interest and can go to negotiate for you. Now, I'm not gonna be just completely harsh on them here. Sometimes new builds often have some really great incentives. I know builders all around the Central Texas area that have incredible incentives that are helping my buyer clients move in either with a rate buy down or with no closing cost or with money off the top. A lot of it is flex cash, meaning that you can use this in a variety of ways, however your client needs, which is fantastic. So it's not always bad. It's just usually if they're offering an incentive like that, you can't get a whole lot more out of them. There's a reason that they're putting that number and that incentive out because it still works for the builder. The fifth con, me personally, I'm not a fan of the fact that there's less mature landscaping all around the neighborhoods. You drive around, the sod is all in its little squares, the trees haven't grown yet. So if you're looking for that more developed look in a neighborhood, new construction may not be the route for you. Now we're going to talk about the pros of buying a resold home over a new construction house. Number one, the neighborhood is established. Resold homes are often located in already established communities, and what that means is you're probably getting a more prime location with that. Not just within the city, but within the community itself. And this rings true for early builds, like early phases and new construction as well, where if you're in early and you're buying the lot that's closest to the entrance, the later that construction goes, the further away and deeper into the neighborhood that you're located. So you have to think about like traffic in the mornings. During the school year, when you're fighting all the neighborhood kids, cars, and parents to get out of that neighborhood, what does that look like? Well, when you buy a resold home, you're already buying something established. It's already like there's no guessing as to what it's gonna look like, right? Because it's already done. The community's already finished. You have an idea of what is this community going to look like when I live in it? I will say that is one thing that I didn't mention that I probably should have in the cons of new construction homes is that you can't, let's say you buy a new construction house and it's in the early phases of the build, you move in, well, there's 1,100 other homes around you that are going to be being completed over the span of the next 5 years or so. So you're having to deal with construction noise, you're having to deal with the gradual increase in traffic, and some of your amenities may not be completed yet. So resold homes, that's already taken care of. There's no questions. That is a perk. The second pro of buying a resold home over a new construction is character and style. Older homes oftentimes have architectural styles that are more unique that you can't find in a lot of the cookie cutter homes that are getting put up nowadays. So this is something that you're going to need to consider. Do resold homes or new construction match your personal style better? Lots of the new construction homes fit one of two different molds, which is basically, one or two different color schemes, which is the black, gray, and white, or the brown and black tones. So if that's not your style, you may want to look into an established home. The third pro to buying a resold home is negotiation flexibility. You do not know what the situation is with the seller and why they're needing to sell. They could be 2 months away from defaulting on their loan and going into foreclosure. This opens up a big opportunity for you as the buyer. You oftentimes have more flexibility on asking for money off of the asking price, the contingencies, the closing costs, the credits, repairs, and things like that. The fourth advantage to buying a resold home is an immediate move-in. As I mentioned earlier, sometimes new construction homes, you're buying an inventory house, meaning it's already completed, it's ready to move in within 30 to 45 days, just like a resold home. Other times, you're custom building and you're waiting anywhere between 5 to 12 months to close on your house for the build to be completed. With resold homes, it is all about how fast can you close the loan. If it's a cash deal, you may be moving in 10 days. If it's a traditional loan where it's financed, 30 to 45 days is pretty typical, and then you're moving in. The fifth advantage to buying a resold home is the potential for value appreciation. In established neighborhoods, resold homes show a track record of appreciation over long periods of time. New construction, you're taking that gamble. Are you okay with paying that premium for a new house that no one's lived in before? Another perk. But are you taking that risk, and are you okay with if that market turns on you and being upside down in the property? Much like many people who bought in Austin over the last 2 years who bought new construction, those prices have gone down. So it's a risk factor, but whenever you're buying a resold home, that home has shown a better track record of appreciation over time. Let's talk about the cons of buying a resold home. Number one is going to be maintenance and repairs. When you're buying someone else's property, you're inheriting all of their other issues that they've had with their HVAC, their roof, their plumbing, their electrical, and the older that the house is, the more likely that you're going to run into an issue down the road. Now, a lot of these issues are outside of warranty. You can, however, buy what's called a residential service contract, which is through companies like American Home Shield or America's Preferred Home Warranty. These can be on a monthly basis. You can buy a year subscription. They help with blows to things like your appliances, those major systems that I mentioned earlier. But it can be a nasty surprise when something breaks in your house, especially if you're a first-time homeowner and you don't know any different. Your HVAC goes out. Well, there's a $5,000 repair. And if you have to replace both units, that could be an almost $10,000 repair. Number two is energy efficiency. Just older homes, not as energy efficient. They don't have that newer technology. They don't have the nicer, newer builder codes, anything like that. So energy efficiency, definitely gonna be better on a new construction house over a resold. Number three, less customization. Simply put, what you see is what you get. When you're buying a resold home, you're gonna have to deal with the existing floor plan and finishes unless you plan to pay for it out of pocket yourself. And for those who aren't aware, renovations can be very costly, especially whenever you start doing things like structural changes, knocking walls down, dealing with support beams, architectural stuff, can be very, very costly. The fourth disadvantage to buying a resold home is just outdated features. Some resold homes, they're gonna have those outdated finishes, appliances, and just other design elements that aren't up to maybe what the modern buyer wants. And the fifth disadvantage of buying a resold home is gonna be whenever you're facing a more competitive real estate market. Once things start shifting more into seller favor, what I've seen here, especially here in Austin, we were the #1 hottest market from 2020 all the way to Q1 of 2022. And what I saw was that the higher demand led to bidding wars. And then you start getting really competitive with terms on your contract that are a disadvantage to buyers. When the market turns and it becomes more seller friendly, that is bad news for buyers looking to buy resold homes. So there you have it. The choice between buying new construction versus resold ultimately comes down to you as the buyer. What are your preferences? What are your lifestyle decisions? What do you value in a home more than the other? Is it more location? Is it the quality of the house? Is it energy efficiency? You can see that there's a lot that goes into it. To put it simply, if you value modern amenities, energy efficiency, and customization, new construction is probably the route to go. However, if you're looking for a home that has more character in an already established community with the possibility for better negotiations, Resold's the way to go. That's it for today. Hopefully this video helped you go through the pros and cons of buying a resold home versus a new construction house. And if it was helpful in the slightest, a free, easy way to support my channel, like the video, leave me a friendly comment below, and subscribe to the channel if you want to stay up to date with all my Austin, Texas real estate content. I do buyer, seller tip videos and property tours of the most beautiful model homes in all of the areas, showcasing a lot of the builders that are available for you as the buyer here in the area. I'm Jordan Brown. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.